As you guys know, this is the first of 3 workshops. Today we focus on branding, which you'll learn is about how you want those you serve to feel. So branding's all about feeling. Joy is a Strategy on July 24th will focus on you and how you want to feel while working in your business. And then the Big Damn Plan on August 14th brings it all together, and you'll learn how to build a marketing plan to clearly understand your return on investment and improve it. Just a reminder, these workshops are recorded. You will get an email tomorrow morning with a link that brings you to the recording that you will find on the dashboard in the BrandKramp website. And the slides, the presentation, I'm going to bring you through. It's probably going to take about 20 minutes. So we'll have a little bit of time afterwards for any questions, but feel free to ask them as we go along, or ask me to slow down, speed up, whatever you might need. Just a little bit of an orientation. You guys made it here, so clearly you have your account established. You know how to access it, but I just wanted to show you a couple things. When you log in, I'm just going to log out here real quick. But when you log into your account, it brings you to your dashboard. This is my dashboard. A couple other things on here. In the summer school, you have your 3 workshops. Within the workshop, I just wanted to point out in the resource tab, that's where you'll find the workbook that we're going to review today. It is a fillable PDF, so you can download it to your computer and fill it out, or you can print it out and fill it out, whatever your preference is. I just want to show you one more thing. On your dashboard, you should have an icon that says BrandKramp Collective. This is a community that I built within the platform that everyone is a member of. It functions like a Facebook page, but it exists within the platform. So you can see who the members are who are taking the workshop, and you can post questions here. You can connect with folks. You can share ideas. And I've built in a couple of challenges that you guys can take on that will help you explore the content that we're covering. So I just wanted to let you know about those things. Before we start, I just want to take a little poll. I just want to get a sense of where you all are on your marketing journeys. So I have a little poll, and just hold your fingers up. I'm going to read some qualifications and let me know based on, 1, 2, 3, or 4 where you are. So what best describes why you joined summer school? Number 1, put your one finger up if you're new to marketing and want to learn the basics in a way that makes sense. Number 2, if you've been doing this a while but want fresh ideas and more consistency. Number 3, you're here to uncramp your brand. You want clarity, confidence, and tools. Or number 4, and you can be honest, you're just curious. It sounded like fun, and free never hurts.
Okay, we have Andy's a 1, Angie's a 1, Rennie's a 2. And ask Kevin what he is.
Kevin, what are you? 1, 2, 3, or 4? You're 3? Okay.
3.
All right, cool.
So more 1s.
More 1s. Okay, excellent. Excellent. Okay. All right, excellent. All right, so we're going to get into things. There are 5 core elements of your brand. Your value proposition, that's what drives you. Your vibe is how you want people to feel around your brand. And again, a lot of this is about feelings. Your voice, how you show up in your messaging. Your words, the language that brings it all to life. And then your visuals, the outward expression of everything above. And they're listed in order of importance. The most important is your value, which leads to your vibe. Your vibe leads to your voice leads to your words lead to your visuals. So let's kick off here with your values. Okay, your values are the heartbeat of your brand. It's where you build trust and relatedness. Your values are what resonate with the folks you're trying to attract. And you will attract your tribe or your clients, however you define them, based on your values. The workshop is built around the workbook, which I showed you how to download. We'll talk a little bit more about the workbook at the end, but there will be prompts in the workbook that can help you identify or fine-tune your values. But what you want to do is you want to think about what beliefs guide you in the way you do business. When people talk about your brand, your company, your business, what do you want them to say? And that will help you figure out what your values are. And values can be as simple as start on time, end on time, honor commitments, those types of things. Or they can be even broader. You know, one of my values is to ensure the folks that I work with are seen, they're heard, they're respected, those types of things. Some other angle to come at your values is what frustrates you the most about your industry. And maybe that's why you're in business, because you are frustrated and you want to do things differently. So how will you be different? That is how you can establish your values. Any thoughts out there about your values?
This one's a little bit hard for me. Know why I'm doing the thing that I want to do, which is, reaching women and to deal with self-care. But part of it is supposed to be like this luxury thing, but then on top of it, I want it to be for everyone. So, well, every woman, I should say. And so I'm having a little bit of a hard time connecting those two.
Connecting what to?
Self-care and luxury, and making it a high class course, but still for everyone.
Some things you can think about, your values can be bigger than all of those things. So is a value that you deliver a quality experience to all types of women. So
Okay.
yeah. So
Am I thinking to
think higher up, think of your values in terms of what you bring to the table. So you bring that high-end experience to everyone.
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So like, in other words, you're the high-end deal and you're available to everyone.
Okay. I love that. Thank you.
Okay. And the workbook will help you think about this stuff, and the prompts will help you define those things. All right. So your vibe. Your vibe is your brand's energy and the feelings it evokes. It's where you shape the tone that makes your brand magnetic. And again, all of this stuff comes back to feelings. So how do you want people to feel when they interact with your brand? And we just talked about that. You want to give a high-end experience. So that is a vibe. A vibe can be inspired. It can be grounded. It can be, as I mentioned earlier, you want the folks who you work with to be seen or feel that they're seen and understood. A really good way to think about your vibe is, if your brand was a room, what would the energy be like if someone walked in? And we've all been there. We've gone to parties where you walk in and it's dead, or you walk in and you feel like you've known everybody in the room your whole life. Same deal with meetings. Some meetings you go into and you feel like, all the oxygen's been pulled out of the room. So those are the things you want to think about. Like with me, with my vibe, I want folks to feel welcomed. I want them to have fun. I want it to be light, and I want it to be enjoyable. Your vibe is also related to your emotional tone. Are you nurturing? Are you direct? Are you chill? But I have 3 examples of vibe. And if you can hear it, pay attention to the words, pay attention to the tone and the pace of the narrator and even the music, because all of this stuff is intentional. So when you think about vibe, all of these things roll into what you're seeing.
You can't be demanding. You can't be relentless. You can't put yourself first. So put yourself first. You can't be confident. So be confident. You can't challenge. So challenge. You can't dominate. So dominate. You can't flex. So flex. You can't fill a stadium. So fill that stadium. You can't be emotional. So be emotional. You can't take credit. You can't speak up. You can't be so ambitious. You can't break records. But make demands. You can't keep score. You can't stand out. Whatever you do, you can't win. So win.
Anyone want to share their thoughts about that?
Powerful women.
Yeah. And it's, Nike, it's all about motivation, empowerment, and grit. And to me, it's a very powerful commercial. Now we have your voice. All right. Your voice, it's your brand's attitude. It's the rhythm, it's the personality. And we saw a little bit of that in the Nike commercial. We saw attitude, the way the narrator spoke, the personality you saw in the female athletes with, the wink of the eye and the powerful focus and those types of things. Your voice is how you show up in every email, every caption, every call to action. I'm going to share a couple different brands with you. Here it is. All right. Here's Apple. And as I mentioned, their voice is as clean and easy as their technology. They use a lot of white space. They have, beautiful product shots, and the words are very limited. MacBook Air, sky blue color, sky high performance with M4. So very clean, very direct. And here's Cracker Barrel. All right, can you see it? Who's hungry?
Yes, we could. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can see Cracker Barrel. It's 100% about their photography is beautiful. Their palette on their website is very comforting, kind of like mustard and ketchup. The words they use, campfire shrimp skillet, buttery shrimp, smoky sausage. Their voice is 100% tied in with their brand. We're going to look at an attorney. Completely different vibe. This is a local attorney's office near me. You get confidence, you have business suits, very corporate, again, very clean, providing quality representation. There's a dedicated team for every legal matter, again, building confidence, showing you that they're in control, letting you know what their clients have to say about them, which is very important. But their voice is very corporate, calming, confident, those types of things. Your words. Your words are your brand's power tools. This is where you engage and you spark action. And Michelle and I had a conversation while we were running through this. Words are very important. If you think about it, you guys have favorite authors and you love them because of the way the words make you feel, the imagery that they convey with their words. Words are very powerful. What words connect with your audience? Those are the things you should really think about. A lot of people take the approach of writing copy for their material based on their command of the English language or based on what they want to explain. But really what you need to think about is, what are the words that resonate with your client or your tribe? How would you express things to them in a way that would relate versus you taking the approach, I'm going to write copy to explain something. Pull back and think about the best way to talk to someone who you want to attract. Cracker Barrel, in the example, they talk about buttery shrimp, smoky sausage, savor every bite of brothy goodness. They're using all the words that make you salivate. They're not saying we have smoky sausage and we have shrimp that we cook on a grill and sometimes we put butter on it. They really lay it out in a way that's going to make you want to eat their food. The attorney, they use very confident words, dedicated team, every legal matter. We got you covered. And think about simple things like, and we talked about this before, what you call the people you serve. Are they your clients? Are they your customers? Are they your tribe? So we're going to look at some words and how they can convey feelings. Energetic words. Let's go. You ready to shake things up? This is for the bold, the brave, and the brand new. And again, punctuation matters. I'm a marketer, so I make up punctuation. If you're an editor, you hate me. But as a marketer, sometimes that exclamation point really drives home the point you're trying to make. So, shake it up and feel free to use your words. BrandKramp, I made that up. I trademarked it. But to me, it means something. I don't want any of you guys to have a brand cramp. I've had brand cramps, and they're very painful when you're a business owner. So, think about your words. Confident, dominate your niche, crush the competition, no excuses, just results. Those are confident words. Playful. And again, this is in line with BrandKramp. Marketing doesn't have to suck the life out of you. Let's make it fun again. And that's really my mission. I want marketing to be fun. In the beginning, Andrew, you and I were talking about marketing. You're like, oh my God, I don't ever want people to feel that way, because marketing can be a playground if you really approach it the right way. And it's your business, so you should be able to market it the way that makes you feel happy. This ain't your average branding advice. It's playful, high fives and aha moments ahead. And I have to give you an example of what not to do. Don't be, we hope this helps. Maybe give this a try. We might have a solution to suit your needs, or you consider this if you want. Be confident and use power words. And finding your words, if you have an author you love, there are words that they use that resonate with you. Build them into your plan. Write down the words that you love. I love magnetic poetry. And, I will sometimes pluck words out and put words together because I love the way they sound. So do what it is and really focus on the words that make you excited. Because if you're excited and you use those words, you're going to pass that excitement along. Any thoughts about that? Are there any word geeks listening?
I actually really feel like this has been really very helpful. So I'm very grateful that you're doing this. I'm such a word person, but I cannot think of anything right now.
Yeah. And I just, I'm a reader. I love to read. And I read because of the people write. And I'm not a big poetry person because I like words that create sentences.
That makes
But-
it's direct and makes sense.
Yes, exactly.
Without having to guess.
Exactly. If you guys need help, if you get hung up on the words, you can absolutely Google or use Chat GPT to say, hey, I want to convey a tone of confidence in a way that communicates clearly. What are some words that I can use? And then you can get a big list of words. The workbook that you're going to do gives you the opportunity to write those words down. So when we're done with this, when you're done with the workbook, you're going to have all of the bases covered, and you're going to be able to a nice little document that has all of the elements of your brand pulled together so that when you forget, you have something you can look at. All right. So now the visuals. This is a huge category of your brand, and some of you might work with some creatives. Actually, a show of hands, how many of you guys are actually going to do your own creative work? Are you going to design your logo? You're going to do your own social media? Or are you going to hire people?
Hiring.
Okay.
Hire people.
Okay.
A bit of both.
Oh, was that Rainy?
Yes, it was.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
That's why I have you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Yes. So here's the deal. If you're going to be doing your own creative, this is an important exercise for you to go through. If you're not, this is also a very important exercise for you to go through. It is your business, your brand. You need to drive the bus in terms of how you want to look and not necessarily let people tell you that. I have worked with enough clients who in the beginning, when I'm working on branding, have told me, I don't know what I'm doing. You figure it out. I figure it out, and inevitably in the figuring out, they decided or determined what they liked, and sometimes we'd have to redirect. So it wasted a little bit of time. It might have wasted a little bit of money. It might have created a little frustration. So as a business owner, if you're looking to outsource this, you should think about it. You should think about it. Doesn't mean you have to design your logos and stuff, but really you have to put some thought against this. Also too, if you are concerned that you don't have a creative bone in your body, this is not about that at all. It's not about being an artist. It's about having a preference. So if you can choose a paint wall color, if you can choose clothes to wear, if you can choose the color of a car, you can absolutely do this, and you should do this. Okay, your visuals, 3 top level elements. You have a palette, which are your colors you want, fonts, the fonts that you use, and then imagery. And just to give you a little bit on your palette, if you're thinking about your brand, what colors resonate with you? And it's not just one color. So this is a palette. So a palette is a combination of colors, and the combination of colors will be used in the creative that is developed for you, whether you're hiring a social media expert or you're actually designing something yourself. This shows you a great way to identify a palette for yourself. If you have a photograph you love, pull colors out of that photo. If you're working with a creative, give the creative the photo, and tell them to create a palette for you. This is called Elephant Sunset. And as creatives do, there's always a theme. That's the picture. There's elephants at the sunset. There's beautiful colors that were pulled out of it. You can sort of feel the sun on your shoulder. You can even smell the dirt that the elephants are kicking up. And again, it's about the vibe and the energy that these colors are going to be producing for you. Natural energy, again, pulling colors out of a photograph. You can maybe even feel the wind on your face from the windmills there. Squash soup, inspiration. You can sort of taste the squash. I would call this a New England fall. The same colors are leaves on the tree. So when you think about palette, look at the brands that you love, look at the clothing lines that you love, and that can help drive your decisions with regard to the palette for your brand. Okay, fonts. Fonts are fun. Have you guys built your own websites, or are you working with someone who's built your own website?
Yes.
Okay. Google Fonts, it's the bomb diggity. I love Google Fonts because I'm also a designer. Most web designers will use Google Fonts because they're universal and they're free. And they function very well for websites on a desktop as well as a mobile option. So what I generally do when I start a project is I will go to my client's website, I'll identify the font, and then I'll use those fonts in the designs that I do for them. They may not even know that or ever notice it, but consistency is important. Google Fonts is a great place to go. And even if you're a writer and you love Word, and you like to play around with fonts, Google Fonts are fun. You can type a word in here, and then you can, and I spelled it wrong, but you can go through and you can choose, look at fancy fonts, playful fonts, calm fonts, to figure out what it is that you like. What you should do is choose 2 fonts. They don't necessarily have to be within the same family. But, choose one for headlines and one for your body copy. If you go to Google Fonts and find something you like, you just click on it and you get the font and you can easily download it. If you're working with a creative, what you do is find font you want, tell them what it is, and then they can download it. And then they can use it in whatever work they're doing for you. If you guys use Canva or any tool that has fonts in it, chances are they're Google fonts. They may have renamed them something else, but chances are they're Google fonts. So if you find something here you like, you can generally find it on the design platforms that are available online. Imagery, it's photographs, illustrations, drawings, graphics. My advice there is, 2 things. People relate to people. It's always best to use photographs of people in the scenario that you work or in the service you provide. So for example, if you're a lawn expert, have a photograph of a happy family on a front porch looking at their lawn. If, you are your high-end glamour experience, you're going to want beautiful, happy people in an environment that is joyful, like those types of things. The second rule of thumb is if you're designing something that has a photograph in it, be consistent with the use of photographs. Don't use a photograph, an illustration, and a graphic. Be consistent with that too. It helps the design aspect of whatever it is you're creating.
I was a little confused about your last sentence that you
Yeah.
said. Can you explain it one more time? I'm sorry.
So, I've seen examples where people will create a flyer, and let's say it's for a restaurant. They'll have a photograph of a slice of pizza, and then they'll have a graphic of ice cream, and then they'll have an illustration of someone sitting at a table. And it's not consistent. It doesn't read properly, and it could be confusing. So if you're designing a flyer and you're that restaurant, use photographs. Use a picture of pizza, use a picture of people sitting at a table, use a picture of ice cream. If you don't have access to photographs, then maybe you can find graphics online that you can take, and you can have a graphic of a pizza, a graphic of someone sitting at a table, a graphic of someone eating ice cream. You know what I mean? Did that explain it?
I think I'm just confusing myself. I understand what you're saying, though.
Yeah. And I'm going to show you Canva in a minute. I can't recommend it more because Canva really helps you set up your brand, and Canva has a great photo library that is included in your membership. And that really, that helps the process incredibly. So visuals, the visual part of your brand, again, it's a huge thing. We'll look at the worksheet that you're going to do, and it will really narrow it down and make it much more simple for you based on all of the overloaded information I'm providing. But what you can do with your visuals is create a vision board. And what I recommend folks to do, if you have brands that you love, go to their website and see what it is that you like. Is it their use? Is it their font? Is it their use of color? Is it the type of photographs that they have on their website? Look at your direct mail that comes to your home. Is there a postcard that you like? Is there a certain way a catalog looks or is laid out? And pull that together and keep it in a folder for you to help you think about really what your brand looks like. If you guys are online people, create a Pinterest board. Pinterest is awesome. You can go in and you can take screenshots of things. You can find other people's boards. You can identify palettes, and you can create one Pinterest board for your brand. It comes in very handy because if you are working with creatives, you can share that with them and they'll be like, oh, I get it. And then they can just start creating right away. As I mentioned, Canva is an incredible tool. I use it for social media. I also use other design software, but Canva is it's awesome. What you can do is you can actually build your brand. And for the clients that I do social media for, I build the brand because it saves me a lot of time. You can upload your logos. You can identify your color palette. You choose the fonts. You can even put prompts for your brand voice. So when you use their AI tool to help you write, they're going to write like you. And you can load photographs, graphics, and icons. And the beauty of this, there's two things. If you're doing the work, it's going to make the work much easier for you. If you're working with a creative, chances are they're on Canva and you can share it with them so that they can start off running. And let me just show you how easy it is. So I'm going to create a Facebook post. And I'm going to go to my brand kit. And I'm going to add my logo. And I want a little colored box. I'm going to add a colored box. Right here is my palette. I want to write a little bit of text. I want a title. And, the nice thing about Canva is you don't really have to worry about the font sizes because it will bring stuff in the size that it should be. You can always change it, but, the body text is body text size. The title is title size. Subtitle is subtitle size, but it brings it all in for you. So all you really need to focus on is designing because you have everything you need.
So is this Canva Pro or Enterprise? Is it a different subscription cost for that?
So I have the Pro, and I think it's like $300 a year, and it is worth it. I think you can build the brand kit in the free one. I think the free limits, you may not have AI in the free one, but I have to tell you it's worth, let's just go back to Canva for a minute. So you can do everything with Canva and you do not have to be a designer. You can create a document. You can do a presentation. You guys, you can even do a video. They have content for you that you can use, and you don't have to be a professional. So definitely explore it. And if you're just starting out and you can't afford to hire creative, this is a great way to get rolling. And when you're ready to hire creative, you can just hand it over to them. But I have to say, Canva is great. Canva even has opportunity if you create, and I don't know if I can get there, if you create a flyer, they will print things for you. And it happens all in the platform. I did a job where I did 250 postcards for a client and I had them printed, and the packaging that they delivered it in was just so beautiful that the whole experience from beginning to end was fantastic. And as a designer, I just really appreciated it and it made me love their brand even more. So did that answer your question, Kevin?
Yes, it's fine.
I also have a quick question. You said you pay $300? I thought it was $100 a year for Canva.
So they have various pricing options, and I think because I have a team account, it is a little bit more than an individual.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. So, okay. So homework. Here we go. Best part of the day. I'm going to get my notes because I don't want to miss anything. I'm like your teacher. All right. I'm going to show you the workbook real quick so you can see what we're going to do or what you're going to be doing. All right. So this is the workbook. It's in your summer school. And if you downloaded it previous to like this week, this is a more updated one. So go back into your account and download it. But you'll see that we go your values, and there are prompts to help you with your values, your vibe, and there are prompts. And again, you can download it and print it, or you can just download it and type right in and save it. You have prompts for your voice and your words. What words or phrases do you find yourself using naturally when you talk about your work, and which ones feel forced? The words instantly connect with your audience, make them laugh, nod, or feel seen. Do you say customers, clients, or your people? Your visuals, there's a bunch of prompts here. What colors feel like your brand's energy? If your brand were a person, how would they dress? And so on. And then you can even fill in here what your color palette is, and you can name it, dreamy oceanscape, your primary fonts. Look at Google fonts and identify the one. And then finally, the last page of the homework, you're going to pull it all together, you beast. Here's your big brand blueprint, and you're going to take a stab at writing a statement about your brand. And if you can't do all of this, this is the one thing you should do. And you should write a statement about your brand based on what you learned today that gets you energized and psyched and super happy to be doing what you're doing. And you can share this with folks. It could be your elevator pitch. It can be your conversation starter about what you do, why you do it, how you do it, and so on. Okay. So this is your homework, the workbook, and a couple other things. You're going to have to give yourself about an hour or two to do the workbook. Read it, step away from it, come back to it, whatever it takes for you to get it done. There's also a checklist in there that you can use when you're done if you're working with creatives. Don't stress about this stuff. It's really what makes you tick and not what people tell you you need to do. This is all about you. If you have questions about this or get stuck, go into the community. I'll be monitoring it. I can answer your questions there. Or you can email me at aileen@aileendesigns.com. I'd be happy. We could set up a quick Zoom, or we could just chat, do whatever we need to do to get it done. Our next session, the workbook for that session, Joy is a Strategy, it'll be available about a week before we have the workshop. So please feel free to log in early and download it and take a peek at it. because if you have any questions, we can address them during the workshop and it'll help make things a little bit more efficient. Okay. And now we have time for the Q&A. Woohoo!
Thank you so much. It was a great presentation. I really appreciate you.
Oh my God. Sister, but does anybody have any questions?
I guess this is different. I guess this is different from everybody. You mentioned Canva would be a great tool to use until you're ready to hire a creative.
Yes.
I want to ask you, like, what was that moment that you found that you was able to hire creative, if you already have hired a creative, and what was that time frame for you?
When I started making money.
Oh.
So, honestly, so to me, it wasn't a creative, but it was an assistant. I struggled with that because I am a designer, but I'm a marketer. And I got to the point where I had enough clients that I needed help. And there were things that I didn't want to do anymore that took me away from working on my business. So I hired an assistant, but I limited it to 20 hours a week. And we negotiated a rate just to make sure I could afford it. But really, when you start making money, that's when you can do it. And, you can start making money right away. And the thing is, I decided to curtail some of my business expenses so that I could hire an assistant. So did that answer your question?
That's great. Yeah, great.
A follow-up question to that.
Yeah.
What do you have your assistant do for you? Like, what are the things?
So what I had her do, I needed someone, and my friend Michelle, who is here, she and I worked together in the past for corporate America. And she's also a coach. And what she told me to do was write a job description. So before I looked for my assistant, I wrote a job description of what I needed my assistant to do. So what I needed her to do was social media for my clients. I needed her to organize my work. I needed her to follow up with clients on deliverables. I had her attend client meetings and take notes. I had her fill in for me on some meetings. I had her participate in my client intake process so that I had a double set of ears. And she was just there really to help me brainstorm stuff and help me figure out how to do things. But it was really based on a job description that I wrote. And you took Jen's class, right? And
I did.
Yeah, and she had us write down a list of all the things you don't like doing, and that's a good place to start.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah.
And that's a good place to start. And you guys, if you need help, you don't have to get full-time help. There's plenty of people out there who just want experience, and you can tell them, hey, I can only afford to pay you this, but there's opportunity for this to grow. Are you in? And then 9 times out of 10, you can find somebody who's like, yes. So there's many ways to skin a cat, I must say.
I have a question, another question. I know sometimes website development and, sparsing out, capital to create those pages or those landing pages can be costly. Would you say like doing a Canvas, page where someone can kind of click on a link to go to visit some of your content as a form of a website would be beneficial until you get that website up and running?
100%.
Okay, yeah.
100%. And, that's a really good idea. And one thing that we haven't talked about at all, there's a video on BrandKramp about intellectual property. You guys you should listen to it because it talks about your domain and your name. And before you go in and invest a ton of money on a website and creative, make sure the name of your business is available, that there's no issues around that. And that, the space that you want to use it in is available. So listen to that. If you can't afford a website, get your domain and create a landing page that talks about who you are. And you can even do that yourself. You can create that yourself. You have a Canva account. Canva helps you do that. There's plenty of resources out there that you can get online that you pay a one-time fee and they'll host and you can create a landing page. MailChimp does that. So there's many opportunities for you to do that, but it's a great idea. Great idea.
So something I've been struggling with is finding someone to design things because I hate designing things. Like it's not where I'm creative, not nor like it's that one thing on the list that I just do not like to do. Um, and actually, like it just makes me angry. And so I have spent so much money on a website designer and I hate my website and
Okay.
it's been so long and I'm just like, okay, just put what you have there and I'm just going to find another designer to like I'm not telling them this, but I have to hire another designer to like fix it cuz I just hate it so much and they just cannot do it and just like really disappointed because it's been like this long process.
Yes. Yes.
So what are like what are you suggesting here? Because
So
I'm
here's
struggling.
okay. Web designers are a completely different breed. In my experience, most generally cannot communicate well. They are technicians and they are focused on the technology that supports what it is you want to accomplish. They're not designers. They have templates. It's all about functionality.
Okay. Well,
Couple
that makes
things.
sense because it's not
Yeah.
looking great.
Right. Couple things though. This branding workshop today is really important because you need to get your brand identified for when you work with web designers. You can hand it over to them and say, here's my palette, here's my imagery, here's my font, because then at least you're giving them creative direction. My recommendation to you is if you can still work with the web designer who built what it is that you need, give them constructive feedback, instructions. Here is the page that I don't like. Here is what the change is I'd like to be made. Could you use this picture?
I've tried that
You
several
have?
times.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's to
Yeah.
the point where I'm just like, this has been like months.
Yeah.
I'm ready to move on. It's almost to the what they design, the website is structurally, going to be put in and I already had this person like redesign it because and matter of fact, I went on Etsy and I bought another template. I'm like, put it exactly like this, and that was still a struggle. And so Upwork and Fiverr were just not been good experiences for me.
So you know what? Can we? It's 7 o'clock. I don't want to hold people too long, but sister, let's have a conversation offline, and I can help you with this because this is a sticking point for many people, right, Rainey? Rainey and I are working through this with his web designer, but he's coming around because he's very good at what he does. He just needed some direction, and we're working very hard to make him a member of our team. But
he needed to buy in.
He did need to buy in, and it's been a tough. It's been like 4 months, 5 months.
Yeah.
But yeah. So Regine, is that how you say your name, Regine?
Yes, that's how you say it.
All right.
Perfectly.
So I'm gonna reach out to you and let's schedule some time, and we'll talk.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay,
I appreciate it.
And I can help you navigate that because it is a sticking point, but I can give you tips.
Okay, thank you
Okay.
so much.
All right, cool. All right. You guys, thank you so much. Thank you. Check on the community, get that workbook done. You guys have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me, and have a fantastic evening. And I will see you next time for Joy as a Strategy.
What day is that? I never actually got to look at the next time we're gonna meet.
It is July 24th,
July 24th.
6
Okay.
p.m. And it's going to be all about you and how you guys want to feel.
Yes. Okay. Thank
I
you.
know, right? All right, you guys. Thank you so much. Have a great one.
Thank you.
All right. See ya.